How you doing, guys? I've been away from the forum for a while. Little breather. Plus, I'm doing some restoration in the house. And June was a horrendous month. I didn't make any money. Just about even in the whole month. So I went back and I wanted to examine what I was doing, what changed. Um, what you're looking at here is a 30-second chart. Um, You have days, minutes, zero for days, zero for, whatever that is. That's the minutes, and this is the seconds. So I got a 30-second chart up here because basically the 133. Usually the candles are finished within anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds, and I'm kind of thinking a little differently and out of the box as far as supply and demand. You know. For instance, we can see over here, use a pointer on this, it'd be a lot easier. We can see over here that there was a little sideways going into this green area here is the beginning of the session at 9:30. So up and down, and then all of a sudden, demand came into play. All right? So you get this big bar up here, and this takes out the high. So I'm looking what actually is supply and demand. It's where sellers come into the market, So right over here, sellers came into the market. 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 And you can see by the wicks, sellers came into the market. You got this big run up, and then all of a sudden, sellers come into the market. So I'm thinking, instead of putting your demand zone and supply zone, like here's a demand bar, and you put it right over here. Yeah, in this particular case, it would be a good play to do that. But I'm looking at this. You get supply over here, and what about if you? And then you get a run down here. So what about if you put an entry, like say over here, to short? Okay, let me get that out of the way here. So I call it trading the wicks. So in this particular case, you can put it at the top. It's like a resistance and support. You can give it one tick if you want, and you're coming over here, and I've been doing it this month. It's been pretty awesome. I'm looking to get 25 on a trade with a 15 tick stop, and I move my stop to automatic to +1 when I get a pen. So it's a little bit different than the norm. And once price goes down here, so if we get it over here at 33.50 and price goes down over here, 33.50 said 6, that's 26 ticks, so there's your 25. And now here's your next spot where you're going to get in one tick below the high, and you're in over here now, and again there's 50. So you made 50 ticks, and it took you exactly 49, about 13 minutes to make 50 ticks. And I'm going to go through June because that was the tough month. Okay, so, this is past our time. All right, let me go on to the next day. Okay, so, that was the Friday, and then we go to Monday. Okay, so here's Monday, right? So here's right off the bat, you can see you got demand right over here, okay? And right over here, you also got demand, but in this particular case, you didn't get much of a rundown here. So in this particular case, you can take the supply, take the demand at this level here. And this would be my target over here at these highs. And it would also be where I'd be looking to sell. So in this particular case, it didn't go very far. You went from here at 15.25. You got like 28 some odd ticks, and you come in here and it puts you in a hole 22.50, puts you in a hole about 5 ticks, and you went up 22.50. You went up 12. You broke even on the trade. So what do you do now? So price runs up here, and there is your wick over here, and you get a big thrust down. You come right back up and hit it, and down you go. Now, when you get this big bar up here, there's one or two things you can do when you get a long one like that. You can cut the bar in half. So in this particular case, the bar's low is 24 and the high is 28. So you can look for an entry at 26. So where's 26? 26 would be right there. And you look at everything going across right there, and you can see that that's where it closed on this guy here. So right over here, hopefully I'm making things clear to you, and there's your new entry. Because if you took it down here, you're getting it at 24, and your stop isn't even above the high, so you want to move it up to there, and you catch this guy flying on down. And let's see what happens if it comes down to this bottom one here. Oh, you got the same scenario here. On this guy here, you're looking at 675 and 0, so 350. We'll just cut it in half. 350 from 7 is 350. So if you move this up to 350, you're in just about at the body of the bottom part of it, which kind of lines up with where the supply would be, demand right over here in this candle here, and you get in. And it doesn't take you out at the +1, and up she goes. And that would be the end of that. Well, next day. Just giving you ideas on how to look at supply and demand in a little different way. Okay, so here's Tuesday. Oops, Tuesday. Okay, so you can see price shoots up. Let's see what the high is here. Now that candle's not too big, so you can just use the top bar here minus a tick right to there, and you got the same deal over here. Let's see how big this guy is. This guy is that's 12 points, so make it 6. So it's 1.5 points, so make that 57. So 57 puts you at right there. And you catch this right up. I mean, you can see sellers came into the market here, and buyers came into the market here. And let's see if there's any clues to why. Well, you can see right over here that this is where this move happened, was right around here. So it's in the ballpark. In fact, that's where the supply candle is, the demand candle is, right on the button there. And it was getting a little earlier, and you catch the run up here. And then you come up to here. I mean, you can hold this guy if you want it, but 25 is fine. You get in over here at 70, and we kind of bounced down here. We ended up breaking even on the trade. So in that particular deal, that's all you got was that. And here's a guy right over here. Give it a tick, and you catch a lovely ride at the buzzer. This is simple. That's where all of a sudden you get this big run up, and all of a sudden it just stops on a dime. Sellers came into the game. Makes sense, right? Then it shoots back up, and you're done at 10:30. So you got two nice trades there. You made 50 ticks, and you're done with that day. So let me go on to the next day. Wednesday, we don't trade. We got Thursday. Okay, so let me just erase all the other things here. So here's Thursday. So what do we have here? You get this rundown. No wick over here, they just changed. You get a run up. Well, actually, you got to run up to this supply area, demand area right over here, because this is where you want to find out where the sellers come into the game here. You get two down. A doji is a pause, and then boom. So there's your supply candle right over here. Where is it? Here we go. This is your supply candle right there. Makes sense? It's the biggest of all the candles there. So, putting a trade in this particular case, right there, is a bullseye. And you can get in over there. See, this is how you avoid the nooks and crannies. Otherwise, you'd be putting an entry over here. So what do you get? You get in over here at, what was that, 975, and you're down for like 30 some odd ticks. And right over here, you can see that not only did sellers come into the market here, and they come into the market here, there's also a chance they may come into the market here again. So on this particular guy, that's 350, it's 175, so it's 2 points minus a tick. So that would put it at 875 would be your entry. So let's see what 875 is. Okay, 875 should be right on the top of this, right where it closes. Perfect. And in this particular case, you're getting it at 875. And unfortunately, it only gets up about this much. In this particular case, if you want to risk a little bit, and I'm talking about a little bit, you get it at 875, you want to risk 4 ticks, you move your stop to here instead of moving it to +1. But such is the case. Again, the market stops here. This is obviously where demand comes into the game. Just trying to open your eyes up to find the candles. And this is where this guy comes in over here. Maybe you get a fill, maybe you don't get a fill. Yeah, here's another case in point. Here's a beauty. So you get this long wick over here. So you give it a tick, and you can see the rest. Buyers came in, and up she goes. Next day, Friday. Hopefully you're getting an idea what's going on over here. Erase these things here. Okay. So, market fires up and then stops. This is where the move began. There's no reason why you can't take this trade going north. Right over here. Basics. This is definitely where demand is. Okay? And here's where you would do a sell stop. Instead of putting it under here, you put it over here because this is where buyers came into the market. See over here, it went up here and it stopped. It only stopped 2 ticks from its high, and then the next thing was everything was down. Buyers came in here, and they come in here again, and shoot you on down. And here's another candle over here. Another one of these. So let's measure this guy here. This guy here is it's roughly 4 points. So we'll make it 2 points from the bottom. We'll make it 39.75. So let's see what 39.75 is. Interesting, just below the body. And you get it over here. And it shoots up to there. Well, puts you up about 16 ticks before it comes back down and it taps out and then fires up again. So you can grab some on the way back down, and again, this is where sellers came back into the game, right? The same thing here with this move. Same thing here with this move was met by sellers. And right over here on the top of this body, met by sellers again. So you're getting in at, what's that, 52.25, down for roughly 32 points. And again, get this little wick. Buyers came into the game here. Entry there, you can take it back up. You can do this all day long. Alright, that's Friday. Just giving you these ideas. Okay, so let's take a look here. Erase the things here. So, we see a big run up. So the question is, where did this move originate from? Well, it originated right from here. Isn't it? You got a rise, base, rise. This is where the action began. Shot up right from there. You catch the ride up. Then, all of a sudden, sellers came into the game right there. That's obvious, right? So right over here is where you place your order, right on top. Instead of putting it down here, obviously, or over here, put it where they started the action. So you're giving away a few of the wicks. That's just to take out the buys because guys are trying to cover their positions here. Because they're trying to go long, right? And all of a sudden they're over here. And you notice it just goes a little bit above because they wanted to get +1. Like we're trying to do. And you catch the ride down. Now look at this little action here. Comes down here, we take out a low. Where are we? Oh, we get this down. And you got this little action over here. So let's take a look at the size of this body here. That's about, we'll say 2, so we'll make it 1. What's that? 89, 90. So we'll get it at 90, which would be right there. So you're going to get it at 90, which is over here. You catch the ride down. And if the sellers came in over here, well, why won't they come in again over there? Just keep it and go right across the board. Do it again. Well, why not? That's where we know what the sellers told us where they're coming in. So, trading is taking risks. So if the sellers are telling us they came in once over here or twice over here, why can't they come in 3 times? There's no law that says they can't. Here's another little scenario where buyers come into the game over here, right? It stops on a dime. You get this big rundown, stops on a dime, and then they test the low. You got to take some risks in trading, right? So if they're telling us that that's where the buyers are coming in, well, there you go. It's a bunch of trades there in 1 hour. You got this guy here. You got this guy here. You got this guy here. You got that guy here. You got this guy here. It's a lot of money. 200 ticks right there in an hour. Just giving you some ideas. So you're risking 15 to get 25. So that's risking 1 to make 1.2, 1 and 2/3. Okay. So what do we have here? Well, we get a price shoot up, and sellers coming to the game here. Any reason why we shouldn't take a shot? If you wanted to, you can just, have you stop here. You don't have to go 15 if you don't want. Okay? And down you go. And this is, okay, down you go. So then it comes back up here, and you can actually try it again. This one is a little tricky. You may have been broken even here. So if you got in here at 17 1/4, doesn't take you out. You only go up 8. You only get in the whole 8, and then down. 17 1/4, 16 1/4, 15 1/4. It's possible it may have broke you even as it came down here. Don't know if it went up first and came. I think it probably went up first and came down. And if that's the case, you got all of this stuff here. And okay, so price comes down, and this at one time was a blue candle, and sellers came into the game, didn't they? Instead of putting it over here where you can't, you put it up there. Again, you can give yourself, if you don't want to go 15, even if you went 7, you catch the run. I hope you get the idea with of locating the supply and the demand. So okay, so what else? Yeah, I wouldn't take any of this, even though it may have touched. But meanwhile, you got this guy, maybe a break even. You got this guy down. That's at least 2, and that's 10/30. Well, as long as you can get 2 of those, you make 50 a day. Okay, that's Wednesday. And this is June, where I made no money. And I went back and I wanted to see what I was missing. All right, here we go. So, we got a big run up, and sellers came into the game here. Go in and down. And if sellers came into the game there to send it back, no reason why you can't do it again. Right there, and just go across the board. Get you in by a tick, and down you go. So you just made 50 ticks in about 19 minutes. And and if you really want to play traditional supply and demand, well, right there is where the beginning of the move happened, and that's where the buyers came into the game. But you got your 2, you're done. Here's another one here, which may have given you some profit. You can see playing the wicks, trading the wicks. Here's another one. Maybe not a whole lot. Well, let's see what a whole lot is. So you're getting it at 92, and it goes up to here. Well, that's 23 ticks right there on a nice bounce, and obvious supply. But instead of putting a supply down here, always want to look to buy higher. So check out the size of the candle. In this case, you're looking at it's roughly 2 points. You give it 1, so you make it 101. It's always better to get in, buy high. Buy low, sell high. So you make it half the candle, and another nice run. So far, every day a good day. Here's Thursday. Here's Friday. So instead of every day being a lousy day, it's a good day. Okay, right off the bat, we see buyers came in here, sellers came in here. So what's the first thing we want to do is this guy here. So that rockets you up to here. Let's see. So we got 62.75, roughly 36 ticks, 35 ticks. And in this particular case, you can actually take the supply right here. Probably it may have gotten filled, may not have, you know. But this area over here is where we know that sellers came into the game over here. They came in here and then they came in here. So you just go across the board over here. And there's your first, and there's your fill over here. So let's see, we got in at 92, 93, 93 and a quarter. It goes down 93, 92, 91. I mean 73, 72, 71, 76. We're down 16, and you probably broke even. Well, here's where buyers came in over here. So look at the size of the candle. It's 5 points, 2.5, make it at 63. 63 is below the candle, and again at 63, and it goes up again 16 ticks. And then since they already told you sellers are coming in here, not a great day, but you could have managed some money that day. That is the 18th of Monday. So, big down. Buyers came in. Let's see. Well, what's the low of that candle? Low of that candle is 87.75, so we get 87.50, and this goes down to misses it by a couple of ticks. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. What else? Okay, so we come up to this guy here. Sellers came into the game. Not really a great setup, but because it kind of went sideways, you like to see an immediate rush down. But you got a pause over here with this doji slash thing, and that could yield you some money right down here. That could have been a spot here, because if you look at what I showed you a couple of days ago, you would take this and you would take it down to here, because that's where you can see it stopped on a dime, and there's your basic supply. Well, so this is basic demand to take you up to the supply, and right over here is where you really find that the demand bar right over here on the bottom of this guy. So this is right over here is where you see your demand candle. Little sideways action, shoots up, finds a base, and up. And here's where the market turned again. So now I'll show you some in July. It is July 3rd. I don't want to make this thing longer than it has to be. Oh, am I still recording? Yes, I am. Okay. Alright, so July 3rd. So we get this big rundown. And now I'm looking for the demand bar, the supply bar. So let's see, we got these supplies up here, supply. Well, here's one guy, but this, he's still inside the first 5 minutes. Got this big bar over here. Oh, okay. Well, here we go. You can see that this was once a blue candle and closed out here. So they probably want to test this guy right up here. And test they do, because what happens is you get all these guys thinking the market's reversed, and it didn't. And you can see right at that same spot, look what happens again. Later on down the line, you can catch it again. You got this guy over here. You eventually catch something. Well, obviously, here's a demand bar right over here, and you catch this guy going up. So that was July 3rd. A couple more. I think you get the idea. I'm not going to do July 4th. So here's July 5th. That is a... So, market moved up. Sellers came in. Market came down. Buyers came in. So there's the identification right there. So let's see how big this bar is, because it's kind of like a doji, and we're looking at about 3 points, so 1.5, make it 70, 1.5, 80, 78.25. So we're 78.25. 78.25 right there, and right on top of this body here. So look at the action right here. So comes up here, and sellers come in. You can catch it. Well, you're not going to catch it in this first 5 minutes anyway, but comes up here, and it comes down. First candle outside of the green, and it takes you up to here. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at 78.25. You're looking at 11 points. It's like 44 ticks up. And how many down? 89 to 89 to 80. That's another 36. So within like 2 minutes, you just made yourself 50 ticks. Okay? So let me just show you more of the action. I like, even this chart looks crappy to you, but it looks good to me because it's a lot of wicks. So we get this big run up here, and the sellers come into the game here. And we'll probably end up doing a bunch of break-evens and stuff. They're not going to take this guy because there's not enough room here between these two numbers here. So we know that sellers came into the game here a whole bunch of times. That's just the way it is. And right over here is where you can see all the buyers came into the game. So you got these two areas right here where buyers and sellers came into the game. And you can catch a ride up to here. That'll get you about 12 points. You can do it again and catch another 7 points. Again, you already made your money in about 2 minutes, and you could have made a whole bunch. You could have made 100 ticks that day. So that was the 5th. We'll do the 6th. You notice I'm not a lot of trades, right? We've cut out all trades. Okay, so sellers came into the game here, and sellers came into the game here. And all of a sudden, buyers came into the game. So this looks like the first losing attempt here. Maybe not. You get in at 41. This probably would be you would have caught a break and got a +1 because this would have went down. And yeah, I wouldn't have taken this. It's a little bit. There's not enough pullback here. Now this guy I would take because that's a pullback here. So you got this guy here. Where we connect, and then you got big all red candles, and then stops on the dime, goes up, and you got this guy. So, bing. So you catch it here to go up, and you catch it down, and from there, what are you looking at? 58 and a quarter. Almost nine points. So you just move it to +1 and, ride it for 25. Okay. A couple more. What's today? Oh, only a couple more anyway. Because, all right, so here's this Monday here. Okay. So, you can see him spotting out to you, right? You can almost see him right off the bat. Here we go. There's one. And this guy here, because it is demand over here, obviously. So you don't want to put it down here. This is right next to the candle here. So let's just take a look at the candle and divide it in half. So that's a 3.5. So we'll make it 1.75. So we'll make it 70.75. Let's see what 70.75 is. So it just misses. In this case, 71 and a quarter. So you could have moved it up here. I mean, it's fine. So they didn't come down far enough, and you got another guy over here, which is just basic supply. I mean demand. Could have taken it here, but if you didn't want to do any of that, here is the big ride. The big ride. They just went up there twice. You could see all these wicks. So now we're making wicks part of the plan. And there's another one of those big candles here. This one here is a 6 points. We're going to take 3 from the top. So make it 64.50. Where's that? This is interesting. Right on where the body began. And let's see, 64.50. It only goes up 8, so you'd stay in this trade and you catch this guy down. And we'll look Tuesday, and this will be the last one. Hopefully I've given you some food for thought. Okay. So, what do we see here? We see sellers come into the market right here. And down she goes. We see buyers come into the market right here. And up she goes. So, when you get a railroad track, simplest thing to do is you get 9 and say 3, so that's 6. Go up 3, 6 and a quarter is where you want to look to get in. Right there. Halfway to railroad tracks. And you catch this boy down here. And right underneath this guy here. You connect here, and you're back up there again. And you got the same railroad track here, so you do the same thing. You take the thing here as 7 and 1 1/4, so you go up 3, 4 1/4, money. Down she goes. All right, guys. Something to think about, right? All right, take it easy.